Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Today's video is going to be my custom singles palette for December. Welcome to everybody watching today. If you are into eyeshadow palettes, as in Catrice, and getting the use out of your makeup like I am, then this video is going to be right up your street because today I'm going to be talking about the single shadows that I was using in the past month or so. So for the past couple of months on this channel, I have been coming on here to try and get some more usage out of my single eyeshadow collection by building myself a custom palette once a month, create looks, and then come to you with an update and show you what I will be using next. And because I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, I have some very different makeup preferences than most people. And because I have been buying, trying, and reviewing makeup for more than a decade, I also have some very strong favorites. So if you would like to join the Snow Angel Club, then definitely click subscribe down below. So the palette I was using in the past month or so, it was like more so November going into December, were some singles that I popped into this. I think I got it from Amazon, this little singles palette by Sydney Grace. So these are all of the singles that I received when I bought their mystery bags in their Christmas in July sale last summer, and then someone repressed a single highlighter from them into a different pan, and that's what I popped in here. It's actually this one. I thought it was this one from the viewfinder, but it's this one. So yeah, these are 17 shades from the mystery bags and then a single loose highlighter from Sydney Grace. So it's all by the same brand. I did 3 different looks with it. I kind of stuck mostly to the rows because each row was what was in the different bags. So these were in the red bag, these were in the cream bag, and then these were in the blue bag. So that's sort of what I stuck to for the most part by creating this look. And these are my first Sydney Grace eyeshadows, so I kind of knew how they were going to perform, and I was very excited to receive these products when they finally came into the mail because it took a while for this package to get to me. I don't think I received them until September time. So early September, and that's when I did a blog post, so I'll leave a link in the description box down below so you can have a look at all of the swatches and all that. I don't feel the need to do separate swatches in this video today, not because I'm lazy, but because I already have them for you. If you want to see what else was in the mystery bags, then I did do an entire unboxing over on the blog when I got these in, because I was so happy when it finally made my way. And the reason why I was so happy is because Sydney Grace is one of my favorite brands when it comes to single eyeshadows. I think that if I were to just tally up how many eyeshadow pans I have from a single brand, then I think most of them are Sydney Grace in my singles collection because I just love them. I keep buying them, and I really fell in love. I think from the first batch I ever bought, I built myself a blue, green, purple palette because I felt it wasn't around and I just wanted some more blue, greens, and purples, and quite a few of those were by Sydney Grace, and then I loved them so much that when it came time to build my custom cool tone palette, I think I pretty much got Sydney Grace shadows in there, and that's it. Like everything, there's only like 1 or 2 eyeshadows from a different brand in there anymore. So yeah, when they did these mystery bags and they showed what was in these bundles, of course I wasn't entirely sure what was going to be inside it, but I had seen some other people like really loving what they got in previous years, and I think this is going to be like a staple from now on. Whenever they do mystery bags for Christmas in July, I definitely think I will want to just get all of them because I got some lovely other products as well, and I think it's just a great way to try the brand. And especially like the day this went live, they made an extra sale. So a Christmas in July sale, they have a week long where every day they have different sales going on. And the day they launched the mystery bags, you got a mystery bag for free over a certain amount of money. And then they lowered the amount that you had to spend, meaning that if I bought 2 mystery bags, I got the 3rd one free. So that's why I was very happy with that. And Sydney Grace is a US-based indie brand, so if you're in the EU, it's good to know that their shipping isn't very cheap. I think I paid 25 euros for shipping, and then I also had to pay for customs, which the brand did add onto my tab. But then when it arrived at the border, I still had to pay for customs, so I don't know what's going on there. I completely forgot to contact the brand to ask for that part of the money back. But yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. So I was like hit with double taxes, which wasn't great. So maybe they didn't disclose the fact that I had already paid taxes well enough on the package. I think that may be the issue. So I'm gonna have to contact them, not just to get my money back, but to also let them know that I got a double charge. But yeah, this, like, I loved it. Yes, it's expensive if you're in the EU, but this way I felt that it was definitely worth it. And the shades we got in here, I ended up at first not really being sure how much I like it. I mean, the navies and these like 2 green shades, we know. If you've been with me for some time, you know. These 2 grayish toned shades I also liked. But if we cover that bit of the palette up, do you just see that we get quite a lot of warmth? And I just wasn't sure. And I was like, I just have to put this to the test. I'm going to have to put these on my eyes before I start migrating these into other palettes. So definitely something that I need to do now that I've used this is to see how it fits with some of the other shades I have already in my collection and see how I can like rope them in. Because I definitely think the greens and also the blues, I would like to put those in my cool tone or my blue-green palette for sure, because they're very pretty. So yeah, these are definitely going to be part of a palette reorganization at some point in the next year or so. I'm gonna have to sit down and like gather a couple of things that I can do in one video. So yeah, like I mentioned, I stuck to each row individually. I think I did a look first with these 5 shades, and then the second look I did, yes, was from the greens until this pink, and then I also roped in this like warmer tone here, and then I used these 6 shades for the final look, which is also the look I have on my eyes today. So if you were wondering what I've got going on in terms of eyeshadow on my eyes today, it's this palette you're looking at. So what I ended up doing, the reason why I ended up doing that, like originally my plan was to stick to the rows, but I felt that this didn't really go with this and this didn't really go with that. So I did do these 5 shades together, and I just roped in the pink highlighter just to see what it would do. I don't think it went really well with the shades I put it with. And now that I've used these shades, I can say that I feel a lot better about these. There were really only 1 or 2 that I didn't love. So in the top row, save for the highlighter, which I felt didn't go, as I already mentioned, I think it will go with other things though. I don't think it's the kind of highlighter that I like putting on my cheeks. It's a little too pink for that for me. But in this row, I was very nervous because we get something that looks like a straight up reddish tone brown and this very red tone, like cranberry shade. The purple is also quite warm toned, so I was like, I'm not entirely sure. And it's still, like, it's a warm toned look, but I felt that, for instance, these 2 brown shades pulled more neutral on me than I had expected. Like, I had expected them to look more reddish toned. And I think that the look that came out of it was actually quite pretty. This shade to me is a little superfluous. Like, I don't use these very light shades, but I know I can get use out of it because it's a perfect shade for setting my eyeshadow base with. So in case you don't know, I always use a paint pot that I set with eyeshadow, and this is going to be perfect for that. So I think this is going to like go out of this palette and then be put into like a little single compact, just so I can keep using it that way. So yeah, the first look I was very happy with. The second look I was kind of like on the fence, and there were some things that I liked. So I liked the way this more, like I thought this was going to look orange. It didn't look orange at all. Again, a really good crease shade for me. I blended it out with this, and I think that is the best crease shade this palette has to offer for me personally. Like this and this, perfect crease shades. And then I was like, you know what, I want to do a bit of a halo eye. So I used the 2 greens on the lid, and the 2 greens are marvelous. Sydney Grace knows how to do a shimmer, and these are intense, but without like weird fallout or like anything like that, so I really liked it. The one shade that I didn't love was this. Like this one shade here, I'm like, I didn't really need that. So this pulled much more warm tone than I had expected. Like this, I just felt it made my eyes look a little tired. So that's why I didn't love it. And for the same reason, like I didn't love this shade either. So there were a couple of mattes here that I loved. that I will keep around, I'm pretty sure. Like if I built myself like a more neutrally toned one, then I could do that. But those like warmer tones, some of them were a hit, some of them were a miss. So what I will definitely be keeping is like these three for sure, like these three. And then I think that those four I'm for sure going to keep. This I didn't love. This worked okay, but it's just not something I'm going to reach for a whole lot. And then the two greens I loved as well. And then the final look is what I have on my eyes today, which is these shades here. And I went about it a little differently than I normally would, because very often I'll start in the crease with a fluffy brush just to lay down some shadow there. And I was like, you know what? Like this probably doesn't look any different from what I normally have going on, but I wanted to go more for a gradient. So from deeper to like a little bit more brightness in the inner corners. So what I ended up doing is that I started the look off with the navy matte, and I just started drawing the shape I wanted to have with a pencil brush, like up towards like the tail end of my brow. I can't bring it up too high because it looks a little weird. And then cutting it inwards so that I had a rough shape going on. And then I used a pretty stiff blending brush to blend out that shade with this lighter gray. So that's what's going on in the crease. Then I ended up taking this navy blue shimmer and I sort of filled up any sort of blank space that I had until like the half point of my lid. So I put that all the way there. And then I finished off the lid with this like purpley blue shade. So that's the brightness that you get in the inner corner here. And then I just popped this matte and that lighter shade on the lower lash line to finish things off. So I think that that's, especially this final look is my favorite one. Those are the kind of shades that I want. Those are the ones I reach for. So I think that, you know, if I look at it really, like really scrutinize this, there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4 shades that I don't want to keep. And everything else, I'm like, yeah, can make that work. I can rope it into the rest of my singles collection, but those were the shades that I didn't love. So yeah, that's my experience using the Sydney Grace eyeshadow palette that I built myself with some singles I got over the summertime. And for the next rendition, I'm again not going to be selecting a palette because I have some more singles that I came into. Now granted, how successful I will be to make looks with just this palette, I don't know, because the Sydney Grace one I felt like I could see 3 very cohesive looks the minute I put these shades into the palette. But my Glamshop singles, I don't know. This may be one of those cases where I need to just pull it in with other shadows that I will be using in this month. So I definitely have some shadows that I want to try that are new to me, but I also have some palettes I want to revisit. So maybe I can pop this into some of the palette revisits and that I can like add some fun shimmers or anything like that. I also don't think I'll manage to try every single shade in this palette. So this may have to stay in for another month just so I can try it all. So I did a unboxing on camera as a YouTube video with this when I got this in. So I will link that in the description box down below as well, because I already have swatches and all that. And I unwrapped these and put them in the palette. So I've got a bunch of their like standard shimmers. Over here we have some multi-chromes, we have some marble shadows. I have one of the crystalline. These are their turbo pigments. I've got some mattes in here as well. I believe these were called the velvets. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing around with these. And yeah, I'm just gonna have to do that, play around with these. So I'm gonna have to pull some other shadows from my collection as I'm going throughout the month, you could say, and try these out for you so I can create some dedicated looks. But yeah, I don't know yet right now how successful I will be. But yeah, because it's also like, it's just not a color story. Like it's just not, there's no cohesion here. It's just, I bought some Glamshop shadows and I popped them all in the same palette. And this is probably how they're gonna stay for a while. Because I don't really see how I can put these anywhere else at the moment. And I kind of still had the Z palette lying about. I was like, might as well put that in there, and I have space for actually one more. This used to hold Makeup Geek shadows and that only holds 27, but with this it could have held It could have held 28, but I miscalculated. Oh well. So yeah, the Glamshop shadows are going to be what I will be trying next. So let me know if there's a particular shade that you saw me swatching out in that video. If that's what you want to see, like if there's, for instance, a very particular multichrome that you want me to use from this, then that's something I can do, of course. So leave any requests that you might have down below. I'm very excited to be using some new single shadows yet again. And then I hope you would like to stay tuned for more, because this is an ongoing series that I'm going to keep doing, because I really love, now that I have a purpose reaching for my singles. And even though I don't reach for all of my singles every month, I so much appreciate my singles collection so much more now. And that I've actually actively used some of these, I can identify gaps a lot better, so that if I look into other eyeshadows to try or different brands to try, I can be a little bit more targeted about it. Like Glamshop was like really high up on the list of singles I wanted to try, and that's why I want to rope it in as soon as I can. So I got those I think in like October time, and I was like, it's just time. It's time to put these to the test and see how I feel about them. I've tried Glamshop shadows before, so I know they can do good eyeshadow, but I've only used their like pre-made palettes so far. So I can't wait to do this and to keep continuing this series in 2023. So my next one you can look forward to in 2023 for sure. And if there's anything in particular you want to see me do with this ongoing series, then just let me know. And for now, thank you so very much for being here. Thumbs up the video if you like it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make several videos a week, every single day. I make several videos a week, so if you'd like to stay tuned for more, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye-bye!